In this video, I'm going to break down 2 of my best performing emails that I ran for my newsletter a while back. Now I was doing email newsletters in 2025, towards the tail end of it at least. So I'm going to show you the structure that I use for the emails, how I sort of format it, the messaging, the tone of voice that I use. Now for context, I did this piece back in September 2025 and then this one in June of 2025. And this one got a 37%-ish open rate, and this one had a 40% open rate, so both performed exceptionally well. And the way I structure it is basically twice a week. The first piece, which goes out usually on a Tuesday, is just a pure story. There's no CTA, there's no selling of any sorts. It's just me sharing my experiences, or me sharing a lesson that I learned, or even a lesson or a tale that I saw online or read in a book. That goes out the first time in the week, and the second one during the week is actually where I draw the link to my coaching or my consulting. And this creates a very nice balance, because now I'm not selling too often, but my audience is also not wired to the point where, okay, like 80% of this I'm going to read, it's going to be very valuable, it's going to be nice, but then that last 20% he's going to try to sell me something. So I am trying to distance myself away from that, and I'll show you how I did this in this first piece, which is called How Minute Gestures Create Huge Wins. So yeah, let's just run through this. If you were a hotelier, would you trust all your employees with your credit card? Now I know these hooks are not out of the world, but I just like to start with questions that get the reader thinking and just preempting what is coming next. That's what Horst Schulze did in the legendary days of the Ritz-Carlton, and basically it goes on to tell the story of how the CEO of Ritz-Carlton, he gives out a line of credits to his employees, the working staff that is serving his clients. And they basically get a $2,000 line of credit for solving minor logistical problems that their clients may have and that they may face. And then I go on to share like how a waiter overheard 2 executives that were planning where to host their annual event, and then paying for their dinner actually ended up them moving the entire event to the Ritz. And these stories are not unique, you can find them pretty much anywhere. But the real creativity here is actually linking it to a message or a core motivation that I want my audience to have. So here it's about trust. It's not about like spending money or damage control. And I then link that to me building my trust with my consulting clients and the things that I do in order to make them feel or just signal my expertise to people. Like through making these YouTube videos and also just giving away things like my audit structure that I did a while back. So you can see that 80% of this is pre-framing towards a lesson, which is how do I build more trust with my with the people that I'm trying to work with. And the actual call to action is for those that actually get to the end, which is written in a PS. Here's a link to the regular coaching spots with me. So, and that's where I add the link. And this is an example of a piece where I do sell something, which is not the case in this one. So this one had a 37% open rate, so this is also very good. And this is basically me giving value or some kind of business insight using, again, a story. I like to do this a lot. I like to use historical tales or stories that have happened in the past, and then just try to establish a common thread between a lesson that I would like to share with my audience. And here, obviously, because I am in the AI space, this is about how the Chernobyl accident could have been prevented, and then me linking it to how business operations are basically exactly like a reactor. And if you keep ignoring the small problems, eventually they pile up and build into something bigger. And then that is actually the pre-frame into, okay, now we need reliable systems that are both safe and also autonomous, and then humans using AI as a boost to their current operations instead of just passing everything off to AI. And you'll notice that there's no PS, there's no sort of link, there's no call to action with anything. The only thing that I do have is I offer to help you out with this completely free of charge. This was back when I was doing free consultations. I don't do this anymore, but this is a very simple messaging, and relaying that information to your audience does establish trust very quickly. It's just a matter of how often are you selling, and are you coming off as too promotional or too spammy. But yeah, this balance of like selling and no selling, or just story, value, and an actual business proposition, is what I found works very well, at least with my audience, at least in a B2B setting. in the AI space. Feel free to take inspiration from this. I also like to attach images with captions. So that's another layer of personality that you can sort of craft from your personal brand using emails as a medium. So if I could leave you with one takeaway, is that try to link a story that you are interested in or a story that you went through personally and link that to an action that you want your audience to perform. So if it's booking in a call with you, or trying out or downloading this PDF, or trying out a free trial for a product, it's just about creating a balance across your weekly schedule. Usually people are alone when they read these emails, so writing as if you were writing to another friend is just a very good piece of advice in general. It's just this art of linking it to a goal or an outcome that you want your audience to take. And depending on what part you took away, if you try to implement a few things, I'm sure that your email newsletter will perform just as good as these.